Hello, and thank you for joining us today to learn how to use Google Tools and Canva to make your own simple website. Please note that if you are trying to sell multiple items online and need an e-commerce website, this may be too simple for your needs. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure that everyone has their Google Drive account and Canva account already set up and ready to go. If you've not, please pause this video, set up your accounts, and verify your email so that we can get started. I'm hoping that at this point you already have both your Google Drive and your Canva account ready. So let's get started. The first thing that you would want to do is to create a design. You can design anything you want, and today we're just going to get a couple of banners. So we're just going to search BANNER and pick the banner size that you want. For this purpose, I'm just going to pick 36 by 72 or 72 by 36, the long one. Not tall one. And then you can scroll through, you can see all kinds of different ideas for solid banners. I'm just going to get started for a blank banner. But as you can see, you have lots to choose from for what you need for your website. However, please note that these pictures will be stretched across your Google website design, so it's good not to have a whole lot of things on it. And because of that, I'm just going to use a blank banner to get started. And you can also go to Uploads and upload your image just by clicking Upload Media, click Device, and navigate to where your logo is or whatever photos you're wanting to use. Today, I'm just going to use the Be More Social logo, which is my business logo. Then I'm going to click on the background and change the color. That way it matches my theme. I'm going to choose a light color so that everything will blend in well. Since this is just the free version of Canva, it does not automatically save your logo into the process so that you can just constantly use these colors. So now that I'm done, I'm either going to shrink my logo down and put it off to the side, which I would stay inside that square that it makes for guidelines, or you can delete it altogether. For this purpose, I'm going to delete it and just keep a solid background. Next, I'm going to download that background as a PNG, or you can download it as a JPEG, your choice. Then the size does not matter at this point. You do not want a transparent background since you're downloading it to get the quality color, and then hit download. I'm going to save this to the desktop just to make it easy to find. Website background 1 and hit save. Now you have the option at this point to either make another site, or I'm just simply going to add another page. Now you can see I have 3 pages, so I can do 3 designs right here together. Go back to Uploads, bring my logo back over so that I can get the colors. Then I'm going to go to Elements. I'm going to go down here to Shapes and use a square. The square can be made into a rectangle. I'm going to have it cover just over a third the side, but not quite a half. And then I'm going to change the color to match my theme to a softer brown. And then I'm going to make sure that it covers the entire side, but quite a bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and download each one individually after removing my logo. Download, select page, page 2, done. That way it does not have to be extracted. Add background 2, close. The next thing that you're going to want to do is back to the home page. And you're probably going to want to use the Facebook size post squares. So I'm just going to type in Facebook and Facebook post. And just like before, you'll see the option for a blank Facebook post or many other posts. However, we're just using the size and we're going to make pictures that represent the services for this website that I'm creating today. So I can always scroll through here and see if there's something that I like, or I can make it on my own. I am going to keep it themed, so I'm going to create my own. Then even from here, if you decide to go back to the templates, it'll still give you that option. You can also go to Elements and see what kinds of things you can come up with. I'm going to pick a border. These are pros, and I don't want to pay for the pro, so you gotta look through and see if you can find a free one that you like. And this one's good enough, but I want it to cover more space. Then I'm going to Control Copy, Control V for paste, and twirl it around. And put it in the other corner. Then I'm going to change the color once again to match my theme. This does make it a challenge for changing the background color. So if you wanted to change the background, you just have to adjust it up a little, and then you can change it. I forgot to unclick. Find it again and change it back. So the brown doesn't stand out that good. And the red doesn't look that great, but the brown is definitely better. And I'm going to expand it out. Next, you can choose other images. You can take a picture of your product if you already have some ready to go, or you can search through the photos for something to represent your product. So since I'm making a secondary potential website for Be More Social, I am going to look through for social media and see what they have. And if you hover over it, you'll see that some are free and this one's pro. So you'll just have to look through and see which one's free. And this one will work for my purposes. And you can also have the options to make it transparency, changing the position, which I don't want to do. Add effects. The background remover is a pro option, so you can't do that unless you pay for the pro. But what I can do is line it up with the top and bring it down a little bit to the bottom. And if you decide that you don't like the background, you can of course delete all of it. You can make it back to white, all the way over to the corner, and then click off of it to select. You can leave it with a border, or you can make the picture the full size of the square. And once it's full size, adjust it back. And you have your photo. Make sure that there's no white spaces and you're all set. If you were doing a post, you could publish it straight to Facebook, but that's not our purpose. So then I'm going to add another one and see what they do have for business listings. And it seems to all be pros. So I'm going to think outside the box. Google. Okay, so just Google me. And this will work. And don't forget, you can always change these pictures at any time on your website. So I'm just going to go ahead with these two, and I'm going to download them each individually. It's always good to have everything in threes. Not sure why, but that just seems to be a thing with web pages. We will have to come up with one more thing. But I'm going to do a contact. And GMB for short for Google My Business Idea. And then see if they have anything for contact. So this is a good idea if you wanted to cut up the different options. See, nope, you can't change the color, so that doesn't blend. So I'm just going to go back to elements, and I'm going to pull the envelope that I had already used. I'm going to make it fit most of the square. And then change the color to the gold. And the background. There we go. Background to the dark brown. And then download the last page. Once that's done, you can go ahead and close out of that section of Canva. You can always leave it up in case you change your mind. Next, we're going to go to Google Drive. Once you're in Google Drive, come over to the new icon and go to Google Forms. Once that loads, you're going to create your Contact Us form. I guess I'm faster than the computer. So, question one. Usually, you're going to require the email. So That'd be in the settings, collect email responses. And then you also have the option for them to have to sign into a Google account to limit the response to 1. Edit after submit for cease summary. I'm going to let them edit after submit. Then you're going to come over and hit save. And immediately I notice I have an extra view. So then the first question comes up right below it, email address. Next, you're going to ask for their name. You're going to change it. It already noticed that it needed to be changed to short answer. And I'm going to make it required because I want to know who I am addressing when I reply to their email. Then hit add a question. And since I'm here to help business owners, I want to know what their business name is. My fingers are fast today. And change from multiple choice to short answer. And I'm also going to make that required. The next question would be, services are you interested in? And it automatically notices that I want checkboxes, which is great because I want to know all of the things that they're interested in, not just 1 or 2. So type in your options. And always add other just in case. And that's going to be required. So you could leave it at just something as simple as that, or I always like to give the option for them to explain to me what they're after. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about your request? And based off what I've typed, it's already changed it to paragraph, which is awesome. And I'm going to leave that as not required so that they don't have to answer that if they don't have that need. So once you're done, you are going to go back to the settings. And you're going to make sure show shuffle question order is off. Show link to submit another response is on in case they wanted to. Then you're going to update your confirmation message. Thank you for your interest in the Yep, my fingers don't like me today. And save. And then you'll be able to have the option of seeing the responses here, or you can add a chart. And click up here, you can change the title of it, bookmark it so that you can find it faster, move it to a specific folder in your drive. But right now I'm not going to worry about any of that. And then here you can send it or provide a link. You can also shorten the URL so it's easier for them to type. But we're going to use the embed. For the moment, we're going to come back and get that. I'm just going to leave it up so it's easy to find. Next, we're going to go back to the Google Drive. And we're going to go over to the 9 dots beside your icon. And you're going to look for sites. So I don't see it there in the shortcuts. So I'm going to go to New, More, Google Sites. If you don't find it, you'll have to go to Connect More Apps. Waiting for that to load. Then you can hit search. And if it still does not show up in here, you can narrow it to Works with Drive. You'll be able to find it. Most of the time, once you have it linked, you're not going to find it in here. But you can see all the different things that are linkable to your Google Drive. So I'm going to close out of here for now. And now that it's linked to your account, go to More and click on Google Sites. It takes a moment to load, depending on your internet speed. Some people it'll load faster than others. And it automatically pulled up a untitled site. So what you're going to name your site is going to be something that will be search engine optimized. And you're going to want to call it, you can call it your business or whatever options that you prefer. So I'm just going to call it my business name, More Social. I'm going to click away from that, and it says all changes saved in Drive. Your page title. And you can expand that over. And you can also move it over here so that's a little more balanced. Then you're going to insert different sections. You can insert just a specific item, multiple pictures and text, carousel, button, divider, placeholder, any of these things that you deem necessary. So for the top, I am going to be simple. And I'm going to add some text. I'm going to click and it's automatically going to come up. And you're going to say something about your business. We're also going to want to have another text box separately. And you can also change this to the center. You can add bullet points, numbers, links, clear the formatting altogether, remove it, and change the options here. So if I'm going to center that, I'm also going to center this above it so that it looks better. Now that I have a call to action, I need a button for them to use. So insert button, name, and I don't have a link yet because I don't have any other pages. So I'll have to come back to that in just a minute. To add a page, you can go to new page name, services, done. Go ahead and add the other pages. About us, done. And contact us, done. Actually, usually put about us above services. And you can also make child folders. And as you see that I typed those in, they showed up across the top. If you want to change that, you can go to the settings here, and you can move it down the side where you have to click, and it'll show up there. If the person has a large enough screen on a desktop per se, it may already show up. So if you want to go to brand images, you can. Viewer tools, icon info, anchor links, custom URL. If you've already purchased your domain, you can link it here and hit assign. This is so you can link your Google Analytics and do an announcement banner. All of those options are available for you right here. So I'm going to go back to the home page. And now I can add the button to the Contact Us page. Button. And the link. Now you're going to see the option to go to that page. Insert. And since it's not where I want it to be, I'm going to move it. And then I'm just going to drag it out until the whole thing is seeable. And I want it to be in the middle. You notice how it'll show you the balance if you want it off balance. But I like things to kind of flow in the middle. So next, I want to go ahead and move it back to the top because that's what most people look for. Go to it. And then themes. You can change from simple, change it to red, purple, choose your own option. I mean, it's completely customizable depending on what your choices are, but the themes are not extremely variant. But definitely check them out, see which one fits your business the most. That seems cool. I like the yellow. And this is where I'm going to remove this background by hitting change image. You have the option to select images if you want. They have their own gallery that you can select options from. Solids, dots, patterns. If you have a URL to an image, you can search for one, go to your album and your drive. But I'm not going to pull it from any of those. I'm going to hit change image and upload. And this is what we went to Canva for, to make our solid backgrounds. And I saved it at the desktop. It's website background 1 because I want it to be a solid color all the way across. And it may adjust it for readability. And you can remove that option. So I'm going to refresh. Reload. Oh, and I went back to my default account. That happens. Go back to your Google Drive. You should be able to see that it's right there. Is one of your options. So I'm reopening it. I can close out the other one. There we go. Now I can cancel out the readability adjustment. And I'm going to also section background. You have an option for emphasis 1, which you don't really see a difference. Emphasis 2, makes it bold yellow. Or image and upload the same. And once again, we don't want it for readability. So I'm going to go to the About Us section, and I'm going to pull this over. So I'm going to put a picture there, and one more time. So this is where you can introduce your team, put their picture here, their name here, team member name, and team member description. We'll do the same thing here. And that can be just 2 or 3 sentences to introduce each. When you're done, you can move on. If you don't like having that full size, you can always have a smaller picture and a little bit less about each. But I always tend to like them. If you put in something you don't like, just come over here and hit the delete trash can. Or if you want to copy it, change the color, your options are all right there. Then you can add your logo right here. You can add a different header type. So you can make it a full banner, a normal banner, or the title only. You also have an option for the cover, but I tend to stay away from that. Services. I just like a small banner. And then this is where I stick to the 3s. Here we're going to add the picture. We're going to upload. And I'm not going to freeze this time, I hope. So social media. I'm going to upload the Google and upload the contact us option. And you just want to pick your top 3 or 4. If you wanted to make a separate page for each, you could do that and then have the different landing pages based off of your services. And as you can see, it crops it off some. So you have the ability, if you double click, you can make the picture a little bit smaller. So that's more towards the size of what you had imagined. And it just keeps going on without me. So it'll probably be about here. But whatever you do to the first one, I would keep the sizing for the second and third. Double click, get the dot there, and then shrink it down some. Oops. I don't know where it's going. Cool. And then here you just add a description. We can, or not. There we go. We can help you set up and then if you have a separate web page for like more information about social media management, business listing, and contacting, then you can link this, highlight the whole section here, and hit link. Go to contact us and apply, since we already have that one. So now that's been made a link. You can also make the picture a link, and it never hurts to have some links. If you really wanted those other pages, it would be very easy. Just hit social media. Done. You're going to want it nested under services. So click and drag, and it'll be nestled under. Hit new page. Advanced custom path. We don't have one, so we're going to hit none. And then it'll also be nestled. Then you see immediately it comes up with those underneath. So you can just click and drag over whatever you want to put there. Always try to use the same thing. This is business listing, so we're going to re-upload the same photo. It already has the title up here, so you're going to want to say something different down here. And you can also explain more about the services. And then for contact us, this is where we're going to go back to our form that we left open. We're going to get the embed code, control copy, go to the website, you hit embed, that embed code, control V for paste, hit next. It's not looking like it wants to embed. So let's go back over and make sure maybe you don't have the whole thing. Control C. And Control V. Oh, it's not working. So the other thing I can do is copy the link and you can also embed by URL. And that's working without any problems whatsoever. So we can do it that way as well. Then I would always try to center it. And if you click on it to move it around, you'll kind of get a good feel on how it's going to be centered. And then it'll look just like that in your page. You hit submit at the bottom. If you want a footer, you can add the footer. And the footer is where you would want to put your contact information. And your address, if you have one. I don't have a physical location, so I'm going to put email, and I'm going to get my business phone number, which I don't dial it enough. So I'm going to pull it up. And I'm going to enter it. And then I'm going to make this a hot link. So in case somebody's on their mobile, they'll be able to get it. And link. This will link there for this. But they can definitely get that information. If you wanted to change the background, you can change it to any color you want, really. And center it. Or never center one without the others. And then you can also make sure that it shows up in your other pages. Thinking about us, it'll always be there. This gap here in the middle, it'll go away whenever you publish your website. If you want a second opinion, you can always get that before you publish. And so when you are ready, just come up here and hit publish. Custom URL, who can manage anyone. You can view your site, anyone, or you can make it just people within your network or specific people within your email. If you want to add your custom URL, this is the best time to do it. And if you don't want it searchable, you can click it there. Most people are going to want it searchable. So you're just going to hit publish. It says your site has been published successfully. You can view it from there or view published site from the drop-down option. And so I'm going to allow that pop-up. And it's going to show you what it looks like to the public. So now we know that this looks terrible and we need to go fix it. So it's always good to check your site when you're done. Even though it looks good here, it does not look good there. Probably just change that back. We want to make this bigger. Heading, make that smaller. And then hit publish again so you can fix that. And then it's going to show you the draft of what you're about to publish and what's already published over here. Give it just a minute, it will load. And it's always good to review the list of changes that's over here so that you can make sure that it's going to be correct. Where you can see the white bar, shady background, got your buttons and your footer. So let's go ahead and publish it. Go back to the active site, refresh it, and let's see what it looks like now. There you go. So this can be linked. Copy heading link. This can be linked because it recognizes you're logged in. Otherwise, people would not have that up. And then this is centered. Test the link, make sure it works. And it'll take you to the contact us page. And they can type right in here their information, or they can do a pop-up to Google Forms and type there. And hit submit, and you're all set. So just type in your information, make your pictures, keep your footer, and update it often. Another good thing to do is to put your hours in. I don't have standard business hours like 8 to 5 or 4 to 8 or anything. So what I tend to do, I use Calendly, and I link it to my calendar, and then people can schedule an appointment with me. But that is a discussion for another day. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'd be happy to go over more information with you about Google Sites. Otherwise, thank you very much for tuning in today, and I hope you have a great day.